A SOC gets an alert. One workstation created a new local admin, then installed a service, then cleared the security log. If those events were collected, the case is obvious. If not, analysts are guessing from scraps. That is the Windows SIEM problem. Windows can emit thousands of event IDs. Shipping everything sounds safe until the bill arrives and the rules are still noisy. Start with the IDs that explain who logged in, what ran, what changed, and who tried to hide it. Windows event IDs are numbered records written by Windows when something auditable happens. A SIEM collects those records, normalizes fields like user, host, process, source address, and timestamp, then searches for suspicious patterns. In NIST-style terms, this supports detect and analyze. You are not preventing the action with the SIEM. You are building visibility so the SOC can identify, validate, and respond. For Windows, the highest value events usually come from the security log, plus some system log events. The goal is not to memorize every ID. The goal is to know which records support repeatable detections and investigations. Before a clean Windows event strategy, teams usually have one of two bad setups. One team collects almost nothing, so every investigation ends with, "We do not have that log." Another team collects nearly everything, then burns storage and license budget on events nobody queries. Both teams still miss cases because the important fields are not enabled. The classic example is 4688 process creation without command line. You know a process started, but not what it was told to do. That cuts the value in half. A useful SIEM policy starts with detection questions. Who logged in? What executed? What account changed? What persistence-like change appeared? Was evidence cleared? Here is the starter set. Event 4624 is successful logon. It tells you account, host, logon type, source, and authentication details. Event 4625 is failed logon. It powers password spraying, brute force, and lockout investigations. Event 4688 is process creation. Turn on command line auditing first, always, or the event is far less useful. Event 4720 is new user account created. Event 4728 is a member added to a global security group, often seen in domain privilege changes. Event 4732 is a member added to a local security group, like local administrators. Event 7045 means a new service was installed. Event 1102 means the security log was cleared. A real SOC pattern looks like this. Overnight, the SIEM sees many 4625 failures against one user from one internal workstation. 10 minutes later, a 4624 success appears for that same user with an unusual logon type for that host. The analyst pivots to 4688 and sees administrative tools launching with full command lines. Then 4720 shows a new account created. 4732 shows that account added to local administrators on the workstation. A 7045 follows, showing a newly installed service and its service file path. Finally, 1102 fires. The security log was cleared. No single event proves the whole story. Together, they create a timeline the responder can act on. These event IDs are strong because they answer core questions fast. They help analysts build timelines, find unusual authentication, spot account creation, catch privilege changes, and see suspicious service installation. But they are not magic. Windows events can be incomplete if audit policy is wrong. 4688 without command line is weak. Some activity may only be visible in endpoint telemetry, network logs, identity provider logs, or application logs. A SIEM also does not decide truth by itself. Rules create leads. Analysts still validate context. Asset role, user role, maintenance windows, known admin activity, and ticket history. Treat Windows event IDs as a foundation, not the whole building. In the defensive stack, Windows event IDs feed the SIEM with baseline operating system facts. The SIEM correlates them across hosts and time. Endpoint tools add deeper process, file, and memory context. Identity systems explain account status, MFA events, and directory changes. UEBA can score behavior, like a user logging into a server they never touch, then running unusual commands. The best results come from joining these sources. For example, 4624 tells you a logon happened. Asset data tells you the host is a domain controller. UEBA says the user has no history there. 4688 shows what ran next. Start with policy, not a giant connector checklist. Enable the needed Windows audit categories for logon, account management, group management, process creation, and system events. Then enable command line auditing for process creation before you build 4688 detections. Confirm the fields actually arrive in the SIEM: user, host, source address, logon type, process name, command line, group name, service name, and timestamp. Build simple rules first. Repeated 4625 followed by 4624. 4720 outside approved admin hosts. 4728 or 4732 adding privileged access. 7045 on workstations. 1102 anywhere. Then tune with known help desk work, patching, and server administration. Recap in 3 beats. First, logons are the backbone. 4624 for success, 4625 for failure. Second, execution needs 4688, and command line auditing must be enabled first. Third, account and system changes are where many serious cases become visible. 4720, 4728, 4732, 7045, and 1102. Do not collect Windows logs by weight. Collect them by the detections they support. If this helped, subscribe. A new Security Tools Decoded episode drops daily. And this channel also publishes the daily ranked CVE brief for defenders.